Good morning, everyone. Whether you're a frequent flyer or planning your first trip in a while, there's an important update you need to know about before you head to the airport. Starting February 1st, 2025, a new rule will impact anyone flying within the U.S. If you show up at the airport without a real ID or another approved form of identification, you'll be required to pay a $45 non-refundable fee. This applies to all domestic flights, no matter your age or destination. This policy is designed to encourage travelers to upgrade to more secure, federally approved identification, like the REAL ID, which you can recognize by the star in the upper corner of your driver's license or state ID. The TSA is rolling out this fee to help cover the extra costs and resources needed to verify identities for those who don't have compliant IDs. It's part of a broader effort to enhance security and streamline the screening process for everyone. If you don't have a real ID, U.S. passport, or another accepted ID, you'll have to pay the fee for an enhanced screening process. But keep in mind, paying the fee does not guarantee you'll be allowed to board your flight. The TSA will still need to verify your identity through additional steps, which can take extra time and may not always be successful. If TSA can't verify your identity, you'll be denied boarding and lose your $45. That means you could miss your flight, lose your travel plans, and be out the money you paid. So it's a risk you definitely want to avoid. So take a moment to check your driver's license or state ID right now. Look for the Real ID star, usually a gold or black star in the upper right corner. If you don't see it, your ID may not be compliant with the new federal requirements. If you're not sure whether your ID is compliant, don't wait until the last minute. The deadline is just months away, and lines at the DMV or other issuing offices are expected to get longer as the date approaches. Acting now can save you a lot of hassle. Take a few minutes to research your state's requirements and gather the documents you'll need. Getting your real ID might require proof of residency, a social security card, and other paperwork, so it's best to prepare ahead of time. Upgrading your ID now will save you time, money, and stress at the airport. You'll be able to move through security with confidence, knowing you have everything you need for a smooth journey. In this video, we'll walk you through what a real ID is, how to get one, and what your options are if you can't get a real ID in time. We'll also cover what other forms of ID are accepted, so you can be fully prepared. Stay tuned to make sure you're ready for this new chapter in air travel security. Let's get started and make your next trip as smooth as possible. So, what is a real ID? It's a state-issued driver's license or ID card that meets federal security standards, marked by a star in the upper right corner. This star, gold, black, or white, shows your ID is compliant. The REAL ID Act created a uniform, secure standard for IDs nationwide, making it harder to commit fraud. You don't need a real ID for everything, just for federal facilities and, most importantly, to board domestic flights. As of now, about 94% of air travelers have a compliant ID, but millions still need to upgrade. If you're in the remaining 6%, check your ID and plan to upgrade soon. The process is straightforward, but requires some planning. Getting your real ID now ensures smooth travel in 2025 and beyond. Don't wait until the last minute. The REAL ID Act was passed in 2005, marking a major shift in how the United States handles identification and security. This law came in direct response to the findings of the 9/11 Commission, which revealed that several of the terrorists responsible for the attacks had used fraudulent state-issued IDs to board planes undetected. The act established strict federal standards for issuing driver's licenses and identification cards, aiming to close dangerous security gaps and make it much more difficult for anyone to obtain a fake ID. By setting these standards, the government hoped to create a more secure and reliable system for verifying identities, especially in places like airports where security is critical. Implementation of the REAL ID Act has taken years, with multiple deadline extensions to give states, DMVs, and the public enough time to adapt to the new requirements and upgrade their systems. Full enforcement for air travel finally began in 2024, and the introduction of the new $45 fee is the latest step in making sure everyone is on board with these changes. While some may see the REAL ID requirement as just another layer of bureaucracy, it's actually rooted in very real and serious security concerns that affect us all. Every time a TSA agent checks for that star in the corner of your ID, they're not just following a rule, they're helping to ensure that every person boarding a plane has been properly identified and vetted. This extra layer of verification gives travelers, families, and airport staff greater confidence and peace of mind, knowing that everyone around them has met the same security standards. Ultimately, the goal is simple but vital: keep our skies secure and prevent future tragedies. That's why the REAL ID Act was created, and that's why this change truly matters for all Americans. Let's break down exactly how the $45 fee for alternative identity verification at airports will work, so you know what to expect and how to avoid surprises. Starting February 1, 2025, any adult who arrives at a TSA security checkpoint without a REAL ID or another accepted form of identification will be required to pay this fee in order to proceed with alternative identity verification. The $45 fee is charged per person, every time. So, if you're traveling with a friend, partner, or family member, and neither of you has a compliant ID, you'll both need to pay separately. This can add up quickly for groups or families. Payment can be made online before your trip, which is recommended to save time, or at the airport using designated kiosks or by speaking with an agent at a service desk. Make sure to check your airport's website for specific instructions and payment options. The entire process, including making the payment and completing the identity verification, could add up to 30 minutes or more to your airport experience. This means you'll need to plan for extra time, especially during busy travel periods. It's important to know that the $45 fee is non-refundable. If, for any reason, TSA cannot verify your identity, even after you've paid, you will not be allowed to board your flight, and you won't get your money back. If your identity is successfully confirmed, the verification is valid for 10 days. This means you can use it for multiple flights within that window, which is helpful if you have a round trip or connecting flights. However, after those 10 days are up, you'll need to pay the fee again if you still don't have a compliant ID and need to fly. Remember, this policy isn't designed to be a convenient workaround. The goal is to encourage everyone to upgrade to a REAL ID or another accepted form of identification as soon as possible. By upgrading your ID now, you'll save yourself time, money, and stress at the airport. The process to get a REAL ID is straightforward, and it's a one-time effort that pays off every time you travel. Don't risk being turned away or scrambling for last-minute verification. The peace of mind is worth it. Be prepared before you travel, double-check your documents, and make sure you have the right ID for a smooth journey. If you pay the $45 fee, you'll use TSA's Confirm.ID system. Confirm.ID verifies your identity by cross-referencing your information with government databases. You may need to provide biometric data, like a photo for facial recognition or fingerprints. You'll also answer personal questions only you should know, adding another layer of security. This process is more thorough and time-consuming than showing a compliant ID. The fee covers the cost of this complex system, shifting the burden from taxpayers to those who use it. Originally, the fee was set lower, but costs increased as the system became more advanced. The message is clear: getting a REAL ID is faster, easier, and cheaper. Don't rely on Confirm.ID unless you have no other option. A REAL ID isn't your only option for flying. The TSA accepts U.S. passports, passport cards, DHS Trusted Traveler cards like Global Entry, military IDs, permanent resident cards, and more. Some states offer enhanced driver's licenses, EDLs, which are also accepted. Digital IDs are gaining ground. Many states now let you add your license to your phone's wallet, accepted at hundreds of airports. Check the TSA website for the full list of accepted IDs. If you already have one of these, you're set. No fee, no hassle. If not, consider applying for a passport or EDL as an alternative. Digital IDs are a modern, convenient option if your state and airport support them. The key: make sure your ID is accepted before you travel. Don't risk delays or extra fees at the airport. The new rule applies to all air travelers 18 and older. Adults must show a REAL ID or other accepted ID at TSA checkpoints. Children under 18 traveling with a ticketed adult don't need ID for TSA, though airlines may have their own policies. If a minor is flying alone, check with the airline for specific requirements. The focus is on adult travelers. Make sure every adult in your group is compliant. For families, this simplifies travel. Only adults need to worry about the new rule. Always check your airline's policies for minors to avoid surprises. Bottom line, if you're 18 or older, you need a compliant ID to fly. Need a real ID? Here's how to get one. Visit your state's DMV or RMV in person. Real IDs can't be issued online or by mail. Make an appointment if possible to avoid long waits. Bring documents proving your full legal name, date of birth, social security number, 2 proofs of address, and lawful status. Examples: birth certificate or passport for identity, social security card or W-2, utility bill or lease for address. Check your state DMV's website for the exact list of acceptable documents. The process is straightforward: paperwork, photo, application. You'll get a temporary ID, and your real ID card will arrive by mail. The cost is usually the same as a standard license renewal. Start early to ensure you have your real ID before your next flight. Let's wrap up with some quick tips for hassle-free travel. Be proactive. Check your ID now and upgrade if needed. Keep all travel documents, ID, boarding pass, passport, in one place for easy access. Double-check TSA and airline rules before you fly, especially if traveling with kids or unique situations. Use the TSA website for the latest info and accepted ID list. If you have a passport, consider using it as your primary travel ID. Many travelers find it easiest to always bring their passport, even for domestic flights. Planning ahead and staying organized saves time, money, and stress. Don't wait until the last minute. Act now to avoid fees and delays. With the right ID, you'll breeze through security and focus on your trip. Safe travels.